Today's review of the Agelocer Themis Watch might actually leave you guys with more questions than answers. You'll see what I mean. Let's get into it.
Hey, did you know it's a great day to wear a watch?
What's up, Schwartz Force? Welcome back to the channel. Now, just in case if you are new here, my name's Dave. May the Schwartz be with you. And hey, did you know it's a great day to wear a watch? Today I have on my Gallant. This is the Panda dial. I've done a full review on it. Check it out up here. Just tremendous bang for buck. Now on this channel, I do all different types of watch-related content and reviews for various budgets and tastes or styles. So if you like watches, go ahead and consider subscribing to the channel and make sure you hit the bell for notifications. That way, if you see something that you like or you're interested in, check it out. I really appreciate the support, guys. But today we're gonna do an in-depth look review at the Agelocer Themis watch. And this brand is like the most elusive brand when it comes to getting information on their movements, the watch itself. Is it Swiss made? Is it not Swiss made? It's just a ton of questions I have, and that's part of why it took me so long to do this review. And also Junior Johnson, got to do a shout out for Junior. He kind of put the fire under me to get this video done because I did an unboxing and I've just kind of been sitting on the watch and I've been enjoying it, don't get me wrong, but I need to get this done. And I found out some information that I'm kind of leaning towards, and you'll see what I mean when we talk about the movement in this watch. So real quick, let's go ahead and flip the camera around. We'll take an in-depth look at this watch. I'll give you my thoughts, but I definitely want to hear your thoughts and opinions as well once you see my review. All right, let's jump into it. Let's start off with some measurements as we always do. So we are looking at a case diameter of 40 millimeters. If we include this push-pull crown, it's going to come to 43 millimeters. A lug-to-lug height is 49 millimeters. And the case thickness with this domed sapphire crystal is going to put us right at 11.5 millimeters. Now the lug width is 20 millimeters, so you're going to see this thing is an absolute strap monster. And then I just want to show you on my 7-inch wrist how this watch wears before we get up close on the watch itself. So real quick, let's go over the materials being used on this watch. So you'll notice, obviously, this is on a black calfskin, a leather strap. It's very supple, very smooth, and done really nicely with this black stitching. See leather keepers, and then this is on a full solid 316L stainless steel tang buckle with branding. It also has the Agelocer branding engraved underneath the buckle. Now the case itself is solid 316L stainless steel. We do have a sapphire domed crystal, and there is a mineral exhibition case back crystal as well. These straps, I forgot to mention, these straps do have branding and also are quick release to make it easy to swap in and out of with other straps. And looking at the dial color, now this one is the white dial with the stainless steel case. There are a couple of different other color options that you can choose to, so you make sure you pick the one that fits your particular style, but this is the version that I have with me here. Now starting with the case, I love the design of this. The finishing is done really well, and just take a look at how we have brushed finishing here that also transitions into high polish. Now, I haven't seen a case like this before. The brushing goes from end to end with these curved lugs, and they're only slightly curved, almost flat, but not quite. Now there is nice attention to detail with the high polish on that bevel edge as it transitions into the lug itself, which is done in high polish. You'll notice there is a very thin curved bezel all along the outer edge of the watch that is also done in high polish. So interestingly enough, you'll see with this bottom lip of the exhibition caseback also being done in high polish, it kind of gives an effect as if the middle portion is separated and the top and bottom are kind of sandwiched in between the brushed finishing. Now taking the strap off, you can see in the lug area it is all high polish, and you can see that thin stepped line goes all the way across, transitioning from the side of the case all the way through the lugs back to the other side. It's a really nice effect, and I like that there's a really cool play between the high polish and the brushing on the watch. When we look at the case back, it is all high polish. There's no brushing on the case back, and you'll notice, of course, we have indication 50 meters water resistance is automatic movement, model name, brand name, and steel. And we'll come back to the movement here shortly. Now having that domed sapphire crystal does give a little bit of a distortion at an angle. So we can see the bluing there on the hands, all done very nicely. and then also on the indices. So along that outer edge, you're going to see each of those hour markers is applied and is blued steel as well. Now on the Amazon description, it mentions that they're platinum plated, which is kind of interesting. So I don't know if that leads to a different effect or color with the bluing, but they definitely look very nice and elegant in my opinion. Now you'll notice this dial color is a metallic, almost eggshell kind of color, and it's pearlescent. It gives really nice play with the light, and this thing is just an absolute strap monster because of the white dial. And you'll see running seconds hand at the lower subdial, 24-hour indication on the left subdial, and then of course our minutes being tracked on the outer dial. So we have simple dot indications at each minute. We have along the outer chapter ring increments of 5, and then you see there Swiss made indication at the 6 o'clock position, branding at 12 o'clock, and then our date in between the 2 and 3 position. I actually like the way the date font looks. Very crisp and clean. There is a brushed ray hot along the outer edge there. So while the dial is very simple and minimalist, I think it looks very clean. It has a nice aesthetic to it. It's very classy. Now with this regulator watch, I do have to be honest, it's not the easiest to tell time at a quick glance, like you would be used to with a normal dial setup with a 3-hand movement, for example. This one you kind of have to look at and know we're going from midnight to 12 on the right half of the subdial, and then of course 12 o'clock to midnight on the left side. And if you're good with military time, this is not an issue, but of course it may take just a second of looking at to determine the actual time that it is. So just something that's worth pointing out, but I think it's really cool. The other thing with the crown is it is a signed crown with high polish, and it has a nice coin edge to it. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the crown out into position 2, and you'll see our minute hand. Very easy to turn and set, but you'll also notice pulling this into position 2, it does not hack. So that's kind of a bummer with this particular movement. So you see date change is going to start right around 10:35, and that is going to complete just after midnight. So very nice transition into the next date, doesn't take too long. Let's discuss this movement, guys. This was the hardest part about finding any information out. Now you'll notice it says here Agelocer caliber A4001 movement, and it even has a serial number etched into the movement itself, 27 joule, and this has a 42-hour power reserve, and I could not find any specific clones or movements that have a 27 joule. Like I really searched to see what I could find, and I had no luck, guys. It is beating at 21,600 vibrations per hour. So I don't know that this movement is Swiss made. It says on the Amazon description that they are using self-produced movements, and so what I'm thinking is, and this is just my opinion, based on what I discovered and read online, I think this is a Hangzhou movement, and I think they've actually changed it or modified it for this regulator style dial. And you'll notice, because think about it, we have a point here where the second hand connects, a point here for the minutes, and then a point here for the hours. And so I think that they may have modified one of these movements for this specific watch type. That being said, regardless of whether it's Swiss made or not, I think for the price, the finishing on this movement is just amazing. Everything is done really nicely. There's a little bit of where they could have cleaned it up a little, like you'll see like I think a fingerprint or two on here. But as far as the chamfered edges, the brushing, the engraving, just done really well, and probably one of the nicest movements I've seen at this price point in terms of the decoration and the detail put into it. You know, you even have the little logos etched into the side there. It's not held in with some plastic movement holder. This thing is done really well. In terms of accuracy, let's go ahead and get it on the time graph and see what kind of accuracy this particular movement is giving us. Okay guys, so I've had this running for just a couple minutes, and you'll notice it seems to be hovering between -1 to +1 seconds per day, which is great. I mean, right now it's at 0. We have really strong amplitude, over 300, which is awesome. The only other watches I've seen over 300 have actually been legitimate luxury or Swiss-made timepieces. So that kind of blew me away to see on this particular movement. Very little beat error, almost 0 at 0.1. And then of course 21,600 vibrations per hour. Now, like I said, this watch, because of the dial color and the stainless steel metal, is just an absolute strap monster. I like the black strap that it came with, but let me show you just a couple other combinations. You can kind of get a feel, just to give you an idea of how versatile this watch can be, not only for dressy occasions, but even just your day-to-day. I would rock this thing wearing a white t-shirt and jeans, for example, and it's going to look just as good. So you can play it up or play it down. And I have developed a natural patina on this leather. So this is my Dan Henry strap in brown with the contrast stitching. But check that out. So you can see on the wrist, it just plays really well with browns and earth tones. But I think this looks really good. A little less dressy because of the contrast stitching, but still done really well as far as pairing with the watch. So this is the gray vintage grunge strap from Strap Atelier. I've done a review on a few of their straps, and this thing, again, I think it just pairs up really well. That white contrast stitching just lets it be a little more playful. So whether you want to go light or go dark, this thing is going to play nicely with all different colors and tones. But let's say you are wanting to dress things up a little bit, then I recommend something like this midnight blue crocodile embossed strap from Straps Co. I have it on a double deployant butterfly clasp, so you can see there how it ties in with the blued hands, and I think that this just pairs up really nicely if you wanted to dress it up a bit. Now, question of the day, which of these straps do you think goes best with the Themis watch? Drop me a comment down below, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what you guys think. All right, so let's summarize and talk price. So you can pick this watch up on Amazon. Again, I'm going to put a link down in the description below for just over $400. And I think for the value, I don't know. Even though I can't confirm if this is Swiss made, I can tell you from personal experience, the finishing is very nice. The movement is very nice. Everything that it shows on the time graph is that it's just a very nicely done watch. And I would say for $400, yeah, I think it's great, but I'm also going to say that just be aware, because of the branding, because there's not a lot of information on it, if you ever decide to sell the watch, you're probably going to take a loss. So I personally might recommend looking for these online used if you can find one, but I don't think that it's necessarily a bad watch for the price at $400. There's actually a couple of other Agelocer watches I'm really interested in picking up, and that's a thing that I'm going to have to make the decision on, just biting the bullet and paying full price, knowing that if I sell it, I may take a loss. But I also don't plan to sell this watch. I think it looks really cool. I don't have any regulator watches in my collection, so this was a first for me. And the way I feel about it right now is that it's definitely going to stay in the collection and be a nice conversation piece. So I think this is a great example to show people the level of finishing and quality that you can achieve at a much lower price point. But let me know what you guys think. Drop a comment down below. If you enjoyed my review of the Agelocer Themis watch, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. That really helps out my channel. And if you haven't joined the Schwartz Force yet, you can do so now by tapping my icon over here. And if you want to see more videos like this, check these out. I know you'll enjoy them. But as always, I will look forward to seeing you guys at the next one. Until then, may the Schwartz be with you. Take care.